So, hello student, welcome to Teruto. So, in our last class, we talked about the static friction, and what we have discussed till now, that there are two types of friction. One is static, another is kinetic, right? So, static friction opposes the tendency of motion. So, when block has got tendency to move, then static will come into picture. So between any two contacting surface, if there is any tendency of relative motion, friction force will be static and it is self-adjusting in nature. Like you can see in the animation, like if we apply 1 to 2.5, till then block will be at rest, and when force is greater than 2.5, then it starts moving. Okay, so then nature becomes kinetic, and kinetic friction force assumes constant value. So you can see in the animation that force remains 2.5 then onwards, irrespective of the external force, irrespective of the value of push force. The friction, which is kinetic in nature, is always assumes constant value, right? So for this surface, its constant value is 2.5. Here I am assuming that static coefficient is static friction and coefficient of kinetic friction, they are same, right? So this is what we have discussed till now, and then we talk about the situation where the block was held on a surface and held on a horizontal surface with the help of string. So in this situation, we have seen that once you start increasing force, initially friction will try to balance it, but if force becomes large enough, then this static friction force reaches to its maximum value. If you further increase this force F, if F further increases, then as block cannot move, the nature won't be kinetic, nature will always remain static. Whatever be the extra force coming from F external, that will be balanced by the tension coming in the string. So what happens that initially tension will remain 0 as long as the static friction force is less than its limiting value. Then tension will remain 0, and then what happens, if F is greater than F static max, to this point we have F, or at this particular point F was equal to static max, and then when it is more, T plus F static max is equal to capital F. That means T is equal to F minus F static max. This value is constant because block cannot move, nature cannot be kinetic, right? So we are getting this equation in this format, y is equal to mx plus c format. That means variation will be linear. So if you further increase the force, then tension comes into picture and tension increases. So this is what we have discussed in the last class, and on this basis we have seen this example. So I hope this example is clear. Now today we will see some other type of numericals. तो इस क्वेश्चन को हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं ऑलरेडी. अगले क्वेश्चन पे बढ़ते हैं. तो एक ब्लॉक हॉरिजॉन्टल सरफेस पे रखा हुआ है और उस पे हमारे पास जो फोर्स आ रहा है वो आ रहा है F इज इक्वल टू 2T. तो मास ऑफ द ब्लॉक इज 2 kg, दैट इज गिवन. on a rough horizontal surface acted upon by a force F which varies with time. F is equal to 2t, where F is in Newton, t is in second. Now question is, find the speed of block at t is equal to 10 seconds. So what is the speed of the block at t is equal to 10 seconds? As you can see, at t is equal to 0, there is no force acting. There is no requirement for friction to act. Let's first calculate the F static max just for reference, right? F static max is normal acting this way, mg acting this way, mass into g, 20 Newton. So n is coming 20 Newton. So 0.5 into 20 will give you 10. So maximum friction can offer is 10, right? So initially friction will try to balance this external force. As external force keep increasing, this static friction force increases. So when this static friction force reaches to its maximum value, after that it cannot balance this F. तो Fs की वैल्यू धीरे धीरे बढ़ती जाएगी और वो तब तक बढ़ सकती है जब तक ये फोर्स 10 न्यूटन के बराबर ना हो जाए. जब हमारा एक्सटर्नल फोर्स इस तरीके से एडजस्ट होगा कि यहाँ पे Fs की रिक्वायरमेंट ब्लॉक को स्टेशनरी रखने के लिए 10 से ज़्यादा आ रही होगी, तो ब्लॉक स्लिप कर जाएगा. इसका मतलब स्लिपिंग तब होगी जब हमारा एक्सटर्नल फोर्स 10 न्यूटन के बराबर हो जाए. क्योंकि जब एक्सटर्नल 10 होगा तो Fs भी 10 होगा. F वेरी कैसे कर रहा है? अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस वन, F इज इक्वल टू 2t 10, दैट मीन्स t इज इक्वल टू 5 सेकेंड. सो t इज इक्वल टू 5 सेकेंड from 0 to t or 0 to 5 second, block will remain at rest and nature of friction static for t greater than 5 second, t greater than 5 second, block starts moving and nature of friction becomes kinetic. So let's talk about what happens when t is greater than 5 second. So t greater than 5 second, here this become Fk. So as this force which is acting on the block is greater than kinetic friction, block will accelerate. So I'll apply Newton's second law. I'll write 2t minus Fk is equal to mass into acceleration. As only mu is given, right? So we'll assume that mu is equal to mu s and mu k. So kinetic friction value will be mu k into m, that means 0.5 into 20 10 Newton. So here this will be 2t minus 10 is equal to mass as you can see acceleration is variable, we need to integrate to get the condition. So acceleration can be written dv by dt, acceleration को dv by dt लिख लिया हमने, इसको रीअरेंज करके लिख सकते हैं 2t dt माइनस 10 dt, इंटीग्रेट करेंगे. अब यहाँ पे इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट ये है कि 0 से लेके 5 सेकंड तक तो वेलोसिटी 0 थी, यानी 5वें सेकंड के बाद मोशन स्टार्ट होगा. तो हम ये बोल सकते हैं कि अप टू 5 सेकंड और स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 5 सेकंड वेलोसिटी इज 0 एंड एट 10 सेकंड व्हाट वुड बी द वेलोसिटी. इसको हम सिंप्लीफाई कर लेंगे. यहाँ पे क्या लिख सकते हैं, v माइनस 0 2 बाहर ले लिया, t का इंटीग्रेशन होता है t स्क्वायर बाय 2. सो t स्क्वायर बाय 2, अपर लिमिट है 100, सॉरी अपर लिमिट है 10, लोअर लिमिट है 100, तो लोअर लिमिट है 5, अपर लिमिट 10 का होल स्क्वायर हो जाएगा 100, लोअर लिमिट का स्क्वायर हो जाएगा 25, देन माइनस साइन 10 आई कैन टेक आउट एंड लेट्स इंटीग्रेट this dt. So integration of dt is t, upper limit minus lower limit 10 minus 5. तो मुझको यहाँ पे -50 दिख रहा है और मुझको यहाँ पे -27 दिख रहा है, यानी v की वैल्यू जो आ रही है वो आ रही है 25 मीटर पर सेकेंड. तो at t is equal to 10 सेकेंड the velocity of block will be 25 meter per second. So initially what happens, block won't move because friction, which is self adjusting in nature, can adjust itself up to the external force reaches to 10 Newton, because the maximum friction can offer is 10 Newton, and when force is more than this, then motion will start. Then we will apply Newton's second law, and after solving we will get the answer. So I hope the procedure is clear. Very simple example just to make you understand how the whole process happens. So that's why I have taken force as a function of time. So this one is clear. Let's move to next one. Look at this example. So till now in all the problem I have applied force along the surface. Now look at this question. We have got a block of mass m lying on horizontal surface. Coefficient of static friction is mu s. It is brought into motion by pulling force F. Question is at what angle theta the horizontal force F is applied so that its magnitude is minimum. Also find this minimum magnitude. So we want to displace the block. Ultimately we want to displace the block, and we want the force which we apply should be minimum. So question is, in what direction should we apply the force and what should be the magnitude of this minimum force. Okay, so I don't know in what direction force is to be applied and what is the magnitude of that minimum force. So let the force is acting at an angle theta. So we don't know theta, we need to find out the theta for which force is minimum. If I draw free body diagram, see, this is normal, this one is mg, and as forces try to move the block towards right, friction force will come in backward direction. Okay, as the block is about to get displaced, so friction will be F is static max because it is about to get displaced. If I resolve forces along the plane and perpendicular to the plane, these two components I can write F cos theta and F sin theta. Now, so from diagram I can say that n plus f sine theta will balance mg n upward, f sine theta upward, and mg downward. And then second equation I can write f cos theta will get balanced by f static max. So f static max is mu into n, that will be equal to f cos theta. And from first equation, if I substitute value of n over here, so mu mg minus f sine theta is coming f cos theta. So if I further simplify, then I can see mu mg will be equal to f cos theta plus mu sin theta. That means f is coming mu mg divided by cos theta plus mu sin theta. Now there are two ways of getting the minimum value of f, because you can see that f varies with angle. So if I want to find out the minimum value, one thing I can do is I can differentiate force with respect to angle and equate it to 0. So if I differentiate force with respect to angle, what I can see is mu mg. First differentiate this term and we are getting sin theta. Simple differentiation. Differentiation of cos theta is minus sin theta plus mu sin theta, that is mu cos theta, whole divided by cos theta plus mu sin theta whole square. If I equate this quantity to 0 to get the to get the minimum force, you can see if this side I substitute 0, then this numerator has to be 0. So this numerator has to be 0. That means tan theta must be equal to mu. That means theta is equal to tan inverse mu. So if force is acting at this particular angle, then requirement for force to move the block will be minimum. This is first way of doing. So I call it method 1, where I use concept of maximum minimum. As this is a trigonometric function, I can also establish the relation we can convert this into, see, this is mu mg. If I write 1 upon multiply and divide by under root mu square plus 1, so first term will be cos theta divided by under root mu square plus 1 plus mu divided by under root mu square plus 1 sin theta if you just look at the denominator. So cos theta under root mu square plus 1 plus mu under root mu square plus 1 sin theta, this is 1 into, so this can be written sin theta plus some beta in this form. This is in the form sin A plus B. So sin A plus B, when you open, you can write it this way. So the whole expression can be converted. F is equal to mu mg divided by under root mu square plus 1. This whole thing I can write sin theta plus beta So this force will achieve its minimum value. इस F की वैल्यू मिनिमम तब होगी जब नीचे जो वैल्यू यहाँ पे आ रही है वो मैक्सिमम हो जाए, और साइन थीटा प्लस बीटा की मैक्सिमम वैल्यू होगी 1। इसका मतलब मिनिमम वैल्यू जो आ रही है वो आ रही है म्यू एम जी डिवाइड बाय अंडर रूट म्यू स्क्वायर प्लस 1। और अगर हम, ये है मेथड 2, if I use this equation just to substitute all the values to get force, let's substitute it here. So we can see if tan theta is mu, tan theta is mu, this can be written this way. That means this will be under root mu square plus 1. So from this triangle I can substitute value of cos theta and sin theta. So if I substitute value in the expression of force, see what we are getting. F is equal to mu mg divided by cos theta. Cos theta is base upon hypotenuse, under root mu square plus 1 plus mu times sin theta. Sin theta is perpendicular upon hypotenuse, that is mu divided by under root mu square plus 1. This can be written mu mg divided by under root mu square plus 1. So same value we are getting here. So whether you solve by method 1 or method 2, you are going to get same answer, right? So I hope this part is clear. There is one more method by which you can directly tell the answer. So let's see method 3. So I hope method 1 and method 2 is clear. Method 1, I just got the expression of force as a function of angle. Then using maximum minima concept, I got the angle for which force is minimum. Now I am substituting that angle here in the expression of force. And after simplification we are getting the same answer what we got by method 2. In method 2, I just reduce this one in sinusoidal function, because the maximum value of sinusoidal function is 1. So we know that condition, and if denominator is achieving its maxima, this f will be achieving its minima. So that was the logic for method 2. So I hope method 1, method 2 are clear. Now I will tell method 3. So I am going to erase it completely. See, so minimum value of force for which this friction reaches to its maximum value, static max, then only it can slip, right? So normal and friction, the resultant of these two, when block is about to slip, this is called contact force. And we know the maximum value of static friction force, that is mu s into n. So when block is about to slip, at that moment let this angle be phi. So from diagram I can say tan phi is equal to F static max divided by n, which is nothing but mu n divided by n. That means tan phi is equal to mu when block is about to slip. Okay, now listen this logic. So we got the direction of contact force, and now I'll remove all this. So at that time block is about to slip, I combine friction and normal, right? So I have now only three forces acting, and block is in equilibrium, right? So I can use Lami's theorem. Block is in equilibrium. To establish the relation between all, I can use Lami's theorem. Look at this diagram. Mg in this direction, and this contact force I'll extend in backward direction. So here I am drawing the contact force. So how many possibilities are there? So resultant has to be 0, that means contact force F min and mg summation of these forces 0. Triangle law I can apply. So our this force F can be this way, the diagram can be this way, or I don't know exactly in what direction it is acting. So another possibility is force like this and then contact force like this. This is second possibility. A different color I am drawing. Then another possibility is summation has to be 0. So this force F may be this way, contact force may be from here to here, or this one. Similarly, it can be like this, force and contact force. Out of these all the diagrams, the value of F is minimum it can be like this also. So in all the diagram, the value of force is minimum when this vector is perpendicular to the contact force vector. Contact force can be having any magnitude in this direction, because depending on the angle, normal will also change. So the contact force magnitude will also change, but the direction at the time of slipping is fixed. So if it is slipping, obviously it will be making this angle. Mg is having fixed magnitude and direction. Contact is having fixed direction but not fixed magnitude. So if force is this way, then contact force will be this long. If force is this way, then contact force will be this long. This is contact force, and these I am drawing the external we are applying. Now what I am saying, the force will be minimum for this particular situation. Force is this way and contact force is this way. Force is this way and contact force is this way, and the angle between them is 90 degrees. In this particular situation, you are going to get the minimum magnitude of the force, because you can see the length of this vector is least in all these cases. So for method 3, I am using vectors to solve the problem. So we came to know that this F force must be perpendicular to the direction of the contact force, right? So let's draw a clear diagram. mg acts this way. Contact, we are sure about the direction at the time of slipping, no matter whatever the magnitude, right? Angle it makes is phi, which is equal to tan phi is equal to mu. So I am clear about the direction. This angle is phi. If you extend this one backward, apply that contact force this way, then this angle we are getting phi, that I am drawing here. And what we have discussed, according to that, our force, if it is like this, which is making 90 degree, then it will be minimum, right? So the force is making theta with the horizontal. This force is making theta with horizontal. That means this angle will be theta, and this remaining angle has to be theta, or 90 minus theta. So if you look at this triangle, I can say 90 minus theta plus phi must be equal to this angle is 90 minus theta, and this angle is 90. So total is plus 90, must be equal to 180 degree, right? So I can say theta is equal to phi. That means if our force acts at tan inverse mu from horizontal, then it will achieve the minimum value. So I got the value of phi from here, and I got the direction of force. Now if I apply Lami's theorem here, so mg by sin 90 can be written F min by sin phi, F min by sin phi, Lami's theorem. So from here I can say F min is equal to mg sin phi. If you know value of tan phi, you can find out the value of sin phi. Look at this one, tan phi. This angle is phi. This is mu and this is 1. This hypotenuse will be mu square plus 1. So from this triangle I can write sin phi is equal to 1 upon अंडर रूट म्यू स्क्वायर प्लस 1. अगर इस साइन फाई की वैल्यू यहाँ सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दें तो हमको क्या मिल रहा है, एफ माइनस एम जी इंटू साइन फाई की वैल्यू आ रही है म्यू डिवाइड बाय अंडर रूट म्यू स्क्वायर प्लस 1. सो म्यू अंडर रूट म्यू स्क्वायर प्लस 1. So this is method 3. So I combined normal reaction and the friction force. I got total contact force. Now that contact force and F min mg, due to all these three forces, the block is at rest and block is about to slip. So condition for about to slip, this angle made by contact force with the normal, tan phi is coming equal to mu. So this I can use, and we have the value of minimum friction force. So I hope method 1, method 2, method 3, all the methods are clear, right? Now let's see next example. So this is the value we are getting, you can see. So F min we got mg sin phi, and this is happening at theta is equal to tan inverse mu, and if I substitute sin phi, then we are getting this result. So this is the least value of force which can be applied on the block so that block can move, and this magnitude of the force you have to apply at this particular angle. Theta is equal to tan inverse mu s. Okay, now let's see next example. So I have taken another simple example. Question is, what is the maximum value of F such that the block shown in the arrangement does not move? So here you can see that this angle is given 60 degree. So force is making 60 degree with horizontal. So force is having fixed direction. Previous case we can adjust the direction. In this case we cannot adjust the direction. We can only adjust the force. So the maximum value of force such that the block shown in the arrangement does not move. That means friction has already reached to its maximum value. Here friction reached to its limiting value, static max. Normal acts perpendicular, and gravitational force, that is mg root 3 into 10 Newton. So this is the free body diagram. If I resolve this force in two direction, this is what we are getting. So F cos 60 degree is F by 2, and one component in this direction, another component in this direction, right? So F cos 60 degree over F sin 60 degree, F into root 3 by 2. Right? Normally action vertically upward, mg, that is 10 root 3 Newton downward, and in this direction this is F static max. So F static max is equal to F by 2. This is along the surface, perpendicular to the surface. You can see I can write n is equal to F root 3 by 2 plus 10 root 3 . So normal is vertically upward, component of F, which is F root 3 by 2, and 10 root 3, they are acting in downward direction. This I can add mu into n. Mu is given 2 by root 3, 1 upon 2 root 3 into normal. Normal, from this equation I can substitute F root 3 by 2 plus 10 root 3 is equal to F by 2, right? So from this equation I can get the value of F. What should be the value of F needed to move the block? Question is, what should be the maximum value so that block does not move? So let's first calculate the value, then we will analyze. So first term I am getting F by 4, and second term we are getting 5 is equal to F by 2. So if I just simplify this one, then F by 4 is equal to 5, F we are getting 20 Newton. So for this particular direction, if you just apply 20 Newton, then block will be in the condition to or about to slip. Any force higher than this one will make the block move. So any force lesser than this one, 10 Newton, 5 Newton, 15 Newton, 16 Newton, then block won't move. So the maximum force for which block won't move is 20 Newton. So 20 Newton is the answer. 20 Newton. So the difference between the previous problem and this problem, previous problem I didn't mention the angle. You have to get the angle on your own, and with the help of angle you need to find out the maximum force so that block does not move, or minimum force for block to move. Same thing. Here I fix the angle and I am asking what is the value of that force. So any force less than 20 won't be able to move the block. Any force greater than 20 will be able to move the block, right? Angle in this problem was fixed. Now let's move to next example. I hope it is clear. So we have one block kept against the wall having coefficient of friction 0.25. So similar problem we have done where we applied one horizontal force parallel to the wall and one force against the wall, right? So in the last class we have discussed a similar problem. Here I am taking this force making some angle, say 37 degree. Question is, what is the frictional force on the block? So very simple example. First thing I need to do, I need to resolve this force. X direction and Y direction. 100 cos 37 and 100 sin 37. Cos 37 4 by 5. So 4 by 5 will give you 80, right? So this component is coming 80 Newton and this component is coming 60 Newton. Sin 37 is 3 by 5. So 3 by 5 when you substitute here, 100 into 3 by 5 will give you 60. So now I'll remove all this. There is one field force acting, that is 30 Newton, and there is one normal action acting. So if I just simplify the diagram, I can see normal this way, 80 Newton this way, 60 Newton this way, 30 Newton this way, and if you just look at these two forces which are coming parallel to the surface, as 60 is more than 30, the block will try to slip upward. A block this 60 is more than the weight of the block, which is 30. So block has got tendency to slide up. If block is having tendency to slide up, the friction here will act this way. I don't know whether it is static or kinetic. Okay, so I'll assume it to be static and I'll see the requirement whether it can keep the block at rest or not. So we are getting M is equal to 80 and we are getting Fs, because it is a static, block is having tendency only, not actually sliding. Fs plus 30 is equal to 60. So Fs is equal to 30, right? So requirement for friction to keep the block requirement for static friction to keep the block stationary is coming 30 Newton, and what maximum friction can offer, F static max, is 0.25 into N. If I substitute value of N from free body diagram, we got the value of N. If I write here 80, so 80 into 1 by 4 is 20 Newton. F static max is coming 20 Newton. So maximum friction can offer is 20 Newton, but the requirement is coming 30. As our requirement is greater than what maximum friction can offer, there will be slipping, because friction cannot provide 30 Newton, it can provide only up to 20 Newton. As requirement is more, the nature of friction will become kinetic. So if nature become kinetic, then instead of Fs, now Fk will act, and the value of Fk is equal to mu k into N. Only mu is given, so I'll assume that mu k is same as mu s, same as 0.25. So 0.25 into N, and we have 80, then we are getting this value as 20 Newton. So downward force, this is also known now, 20 Newton. So upward is 60, downward is 30 plus 20. If I ask what is the acceleration of the block and what is the frictional force, so frictional force is coming 20 Newton, and if I ask also calculate acceleration, also find acceleration of block, then for acceleration of block, see this free body diagram. Along the wall we have 60 Newton upward, 30 Newton downward. As it is having tendency to go up, friction is acting in downward direction, that is 20. So I can write upward 60, downward 50. 60 minus 50 is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass is 3 kg, acceleration A, so we are getting A is equal to 10 by 3 meter per second square. So nature of friction will be kinetic, and the block will go along the surface with acceleration 10 by 3. So this problem is almost same as what we discussed in the last class. Here we are applying force, and the nature we are getting kinetic, right? Now if I make this coefficient of friction instead of 2.5, if I say coefficient of friction is 1 here, okay, in that case what would be the frictional force and what is the acceleration if coefficient of friction is made 1? So same way I'll draw free body diagram. So I added one more question. If mu is equal to 1, find frictional force and acceleration of the block. So I have to follow the same procedure. So I'll assume that nature here is static. I don't know. So nature is static. So component of this 100 is 60 and 80. So 60, 80 component of 100, and then weight is 30. 30 I have drawn here. So let's again solve. N is coming 80. For y direction I can write Fs is equal to 30 plus 60. That means requirement is 30. Requirement is 30. Maximum friction can offer. This I change to 1. This will become 1. This will become 1. Then static max is 80 Newton. Maximum friction can offer is 80 Newton. Now requirement is only 30 and friction can offer up to 80. That means F static max is greater than the requirement, and the block will get adjusted according to the requirement. So maximum friction can offer is 80, but to make or keep the block stationary 30 Newton is required. So static, nature is static, and answer will be 30 Newton. And acceleration will be, because now it is stationary with respect to vertical wall, acceleration will be 0, right? So no relative motion, acceleration is 0, requirement is only 30, friction will adjust to 30 Newton. I hope this simple example is also clear, right? So in two parts we have discussed this problem. If coefficient of friction increases, then obviously with this force you can keep the block against the wall, okay, without moving the block along the surface, right? Now let's see another example. So this was the answer of previous problem, 20 Newton force downward, right? See the previous one and this one. Now we have got two blocks. This angle is given 30 degree. मास A का दिया हुआ है 10 kg, B का मास दिया हुआ है 20 kg, और हर सरफेस पे कोफिशिएंट ऑफ फ्रिक्शन दिया हुआ है 0.2. Right. So question is find the frictional force between all the coefficient of friction between all the surfaces 0.2, masses are given. Question is tension in the string and the acceleration of block B. So I don't know whether it will slip or not. So first I need to check the condition the same way I checked previous one. So as you can see, with respect to this surface and with respect to block, B is trying to come down. If B is trying to come down, then from this surface there will be friction force, let that be Fs, okay, and here let that be Fs, static friction force, and in downward direction I can see 20 Newton force, right? If I draw free body diagram of block A, this angle is 30. I can see in this direction this is T cos 30 and this is T sin 30. So for time being, if I combine these two blocks, like if slipping occurs here, it will definitely occur here. It's not possible that at one surface slipping is happening and other surface slipping won't occur. So if slipping is happening, that will be happening at both the surfaces, and if block is at rest at both the surfaces, nature will be nature will be static. I combine these two to directly write the equation. So what I can see in y direction, that T sin theta, if I combine these two blocks, so I can see T sin theta is balanced by mg of this, that is 200 Newton, and mg of this, that is 100 Newton. So T sin theta is 300 Newton. T sin theta plus F, which is static. Right, this is the first equation. And second equation is T cos 30 degree or T cos theta is balanced by this normal. This is Newton and this is normal, right? Now, if I just look at the block B, for block B, this is Fs, this is Fs, so 2Fs is equal to 200 Newton. Look at the free body diagram of B. So vertically upward direction 2Fs and downward direction 200 Newton. Right, that means Fs we have 100 Newton. So this, what I am talking about the required value, and maximum friction can offer separately I'll calculate. So if I substitute Fs here, then I can see T sin theta is coming. T sin theta is 300, Fs is 100 minus 100, that is 200, and then T cos theta is equal to normal. So sin theta we already know, so if I square and add, then I'll get the value of T, but if we divide these two, then we are getting tan 30 degree is equal to 200 by n. 30 degree is 1 upon root 3. So n is coming root 3 into 200. This is the normal reaction what we are getting, right? If I have normal reaction, I can find out the maximum static can offer. F static max is mu 0.2 into 300 into 200. So I can see 40 root 3. Maximum static can offer is 40 root 3, and the required value required to keep the block stationary requirement is coming 100. So we are getting F required is more than F static max. As requirement is more than static max, obviously there will be slipping. So if there will be slipping, here nature will become kinetic. So nature here will be kinetic, nature here will be kinetic. So now we are clear with the nature ki upward direction 0.4 into n force, upward direction 0.2 into n will act as the normal if I call this force as n. Similarly here this will be 0.2 into n. And downward is 20, so I can write 20 minus 0.4 n, add these two, 0.2 and 0.2 will give you 0.4 n is equal to mass into acceleration. You can find out the acceleration of the block. right? So here now I need to substitute maximum, so this will be mu into n. Okay, so again I need to solve. I'll get the value of n, because here n is coming and here n is coming. Once we have the value of n, I can find out the value of acceleration using this equation. So obviously this block will come down, there will be slipping between A and B, and the tension in the string, after simplifying you will get the answer, you can check that. So this is what you are going to get. So 306, and acceleration you are going to get is 4.7. So I hope this whole thing is clear, whole discussion is clear. So today I kept problem very simple. In the next class we will add more complication, so that your concept related to kinetic and static both will get clear simultaneously, right? So I hope you all enjoyed today's class. Thanks very much for watching.